For sure.
And we are good to go. Welcome to episode 20 of the Michael Ryder Show. And this is also part 3 of the NCAA tournament special with Dylan Shafer. So that today we are going to go over the Final Four game and the national championship game. And the next week we're going to go over everything else. So I want to welcome back Dylan Shafer again. Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy, man. Thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
having me.
Yeah, man.
Might be a day late, but man, we're here.
Hey,
We're here.
hey, we're here before the game. So we got a little
Absolutely.
bit to talk about and everything. Of course, we got the Houston Baylor game. We got the UCLA Gonzaga game. Roy Williams came out today and said he was going to retire. Chris Beard took over at
That's
Texas.
a
Man,
crazy day.
so so we got a little bit to talk about today. But first off, what is your thoughts on the tournament so far going into the Final Four?
It's been good, and the noise has settled down for sure. We got Gonzaga, Houston, because Illinois went down. That was pretty much standard. Baylor had them going to the championship game. It's just UCLA was the big surprise. I mean, dude, they were first four team. They've played one game more than any of these other teams
Yeah,
because they had one of those first four games. They were probably like one of the last four teams in. I'd have to look it up, but if they weren't the last four, they were the last eight teams in, and that's a fact. But outside of that, it's been a good tournament, man. It's been good games. It's been all the way. A lot of the games have been tight. How many blowouts have we had? Like three, maybe.
yeah, not too
Not
many.
not
Besides
many
Gonzaga, unless
blowouts.
they're Gonzaga, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
Gonzaga's
Gonzaga doesn't really count though, because they're like Drew Timmy and those guys they're insane. They're like the best. They're good. Like like I think you said it last week. Like, oh, I never used to take Gonzaga seriously. They never play anybody, and so on and so forth. But I think they're the real deal.
Oh, dude, I think, and I want to touch base on that a little bit more, but I think Gonzaga has a shot, especially I think if they can play Baylor in the
Oh
championship,
yeah.
which that is the game I think we all deserve because
Everybody wants it. We
yeah,
we said that too a couple episodes
yeah,
ago, or the
yeah,
first one I think. Everybody wants. They got canceled because of COVID. Everybody wants to see Baylor,
yeah,
Gonzaga, two best teams in college basketball this year. It's not even close.
yeah. I think that doesn't take away from what UCLA has done. Now Houston, I'm not. Houston has not played one single digit team the entire tournament. Is that luck or is that just Houston's a good team that you can't
That
control?
Midwest
But
region was not. That Midwest region was set up to fail. Like I don't really mean it that way, but like the teams that were in it, the matchups, it was just mayhem. It was just waiting to happen, and like I thought West Virginia had a good shot at coming out of the Midwest. That region was weird, and a lot of 10-7 matchup went wrong. The six, I can't remember. It's like what is it, 6-10 maybe or
it'll be, it'll
6-11?
be
That
the
matchup went wrong, I think. Loyola went on a run. You got UCLA, or no, that was a different bracket. I'm sorry. UCLA was a different region. It was just mayhem. It was just nonstop. Um, it was crazy.
yeah. I think they said that this is the most upsets within the terms that the NCAA considers upsets in tournament history. This
Yeah,
tournament
I would.
it makes complete
It,
sense. It really does.
it does. It's the most upsets I've seen, and it's not even close. But is some of it mental? Is it the bubble? How much are they getting to practice? The film room facilities. There's a lot of factors that go into this tournament. And I'm just like, it's settled down. Like I said, you got some good teams in the Final Four.
Yeah. So let's start off first. We'll go and start off with Houston Baylor. We'll go and start off there. Who do you
Absolutely.
have and why do you have them?
I think it'll be a close game because Houston and Baylor used to play like every year. This is one of those matchups that go way back. So I think there's going to be just a little bit of bad blood. It's going to be a fun game. They're close. They're both from Texas. Funny stat has nothing to do with this game. There is no Final Four teams west or east of the Mississippi.
I think it's the first time in NCAA history. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's not a single team in the
Yeah.
Final Four from the East Coast. They're all from the West Coast. Every single Gonzaga, West Coast, UCLA, West Coast, and Texas Bulls. It's insane. But I'm going with Baylor. They're good. They're clicking on all cylinders. They try to. I like how they play too. They get kind of technical with it and try to get a lot of threes. Like they'll be looking for the three. They'll be trying to pick you apart with the passes in the middle, but they have those big guys that can pass, and they're always looking for the three. And they'll pass up an open two, take 2 extra passes to shoot a three. And I just think that if they can make their shots, Baylor cruises on. Baylor cruises on this one. I'm not giving Houston enough respect. I feel like Kelvin Sampson's a good coach, but Baylor moves on here just due to the fact of their offense, and they're battle tested, and they've looked pretty good in this tournament. Really good, for the matter of fact. I mean, can't go against Baylor on this one. I want that Baylor Gonzaga matchup.
Yeah, I'm not with Baylor and Houston. I'm not sold on Houston. I'm not. They have not played one. They've only played one.
I guess.
I could see it, but I'm not sold on it because, first off, through the entire year up until this point, Houston's only played one ranked team. I understand they made it to the Final Four, and that is a very good feat within itself. But you have played single-digit teams the entire time. I am not sold on Houston. I think Baylor wins by 10 at least. I really do.
Wouldn't surprise me, and I was actually going to say if Houston somehow wins, Gonzaga beats them by 30.
Oh, yeah, Gonzaga. I don't see anyone beating Gonzaga but Baylor, but it would, out of 9 times out of 10, Gonzaga wins. No one can beat Gonzaga, and when they're playing their best, when Gonzaga's, coming on the floor and they play their best, no one's beating Gonzaga. I just don't see it. Gonzaga is the best team this year, period, point blank. No one's beating them.
Point blank. I completely agree. Gonzaga is an awesome basketball team. You can't beat them. I really like Drew Timme. I like him a lot. He's been an absolute beast. The freshman, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's really good. He's from Minnesota area. He's probably going to go to the league, but they're building it up, man. He's starting to get 5-star recruits. It's getting scary.
Well,
he's getting all these 5-stars, and they're starting to roll.
I mean, this is the teams that Houston has played, and this is seed and won by. All right, first round played 15 seed Cleveland State, won by 21. Okay, 10 seed in the second round, Rutgers in the second round, in the round 32, won by 3. In the Sweet 16, they beat Syracuse, 11 seed, won by 16. Then the Elite 8, they beat a 12 seed, Oregon State, by 6.
Yeah, it's not that impressive, and I love to see him beat the shit out of Syracuse. That was awesome. Like, man, WVU fucked up.
Oh,
they screwed up the whole tournament really because that should have been a lot better game than it was. It's just, but that's why they play the game,
Yeah,
we're salty Mountaineer fans.
If like I stated last week, if I am any West Virginia fan period should feel bad on this tournament. I really do.
I feel terrible. I bet Hugs feels terrible too because this was a prime opportunity to get to the Final Four.
You could easily be in the Final Four this year, easily. And years past, like I stated, you had to go through a Kentucky, one of the best Kentucky teams, probably one of the best teams, and I'm going to touch on that team here in a little bit. The 2015 team, you got slaughtered by 30 plus. You got slaughtered in the Sweet 16 by 30 plus by that team. And that team had what? Carl Anthony, was it Willie Cauley-Stein? You had all those guys on there. Plus, and then you also ran into Gonzaga in 2017.
I remember. I was so upset. I was in Florida. I thought we were going to get. I didn't respect Gonzaga enough before that. I was like, man, I think we can do this, but Mark Few and the boys, man. He's recruiting. That West Coast style basketball is good. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah, man. And and then the following year, run into a Villanova team who ended up winning it all.
Yeah, what do you do?
And then this year, you finally get a draw that I feel like they could have made it through.
All jokes aside, I thought they should have had Oklahoma State as the 3 seed where we are and had us as the 4 seed up in the I can't remember what bracket it was, but against that Liberty team.
Okay. You really think that?
I think we should have been a 4 seed. Oklahoma State beat us 2 games in a row. Why were they seeded over us?
They probably went off,
And they went all the way to the championship game. It wasn't even like a one-off thing. Like Texas beat them just barely.
Yeah, I think that overall West Virginia was a better team than Oklahoma State. But I think Oklahoma State came on stronger at the end of the season.
Real strong.
And that's West Virginia's problem. It seems to be they will have like spurts there in January, February that's really good, even in December in a normal season and not having a COVID season. But I feel like they would have a really good season, and then towards the end, like they did in 2020 and they did this year, they kind of just they limp to the end.
Absolutely.
And you feel bad because this was the tournament they could have done it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
And they played Gonzaga the best out of any team has done all year.
All year.
And
I thought we were going to beat them for a minute.
And you crapped the bed. You literally, we have a shooting team, this and that, and we just don't show up.
I'm upset. I know we're not even talking about the Mountaineers, but I'm pretty upset about, I like Jordan McCabe. I like Emmett Matthews. Those are 2 players that are transferring. McCabe's going to UNLV, which I think that'll be good for him. That conference out there is not quite as stiff as the Big 12. I think he'll do really well there.
Oh, yeah.
But Emmett Matthews was like our glue guy. Like he didn't care to dunk it on people's heads and he wasn't like Gabe, but like he brought energy and he'd been there. I liked him. I really did.
You hate to see those kind of guys go due to their,
because they were 2 like team captains, like seasoned. They were
team players. They were team players.
Yes.
Team players. They weren't a. What's the guy that went to Michigan State a couple years ago?
Aaron Harris.
Yeah, he wasn't Aaron Harris. He wasn't one of those kind of guys that just was not a team player.
Right.
You feel for that, but you want them to do the best.
I hope they do well. I hope both of them. They got 2 years eligibility left because of they got this free year this year, and I think there's going to be a lot of moving around. Even next year, I think there'll be a lot of moving around.
Oh yeah,
and it's awesome. Gabe's coming back. Gabe Osaboyan's coming back. That's going to be big. Taz is testing the waters out in the NBA, but didn't hire an agent, so we could get him back. He was a senior this year, taking advantage. So I think our team is in great shape. Might be better off without him. Give these other guys that's going to play like 2 and 3 years from now, get them some floor time as well.
Yeah, but I know within the coming weeks we'll have a lot more news. I know right now it's really in a standstill. You got a couple guys testing the waters out. You got
a couple more weeks. Yeah,
a couple more weeks. We'll find out what's going on with that. Now, in terms of what we have with Houston and Baylor, like I stated, I think Baylor wins by 10. I think the spread is 5, I believe, 4 or 5, I believe. I think Baylor covers.
Baylor covers the spread on this one, unless Kelvin Sampson and them have good defense or something. Might be closer, but
yeah,
I'm gonna ride that Big 12 train to the end, man. Like I have to.
I have Baylor and Gonzaga in the championship.
I do too. It was inevitable.
Out of all the crappiness my bracket has went through.
Man, I was good. I was on top of the group until first weekend I was winning, and then this past 2 weeks have killed me, man.
Hey, I've kind of come up a little bit. I was literally in the bottom, in the basement.
But yeah, that shows who the real sports fans are, though, man. I picked all those first round games right, and then I got you guys passing me on these lucky back end picks, man. We got.
I mean,
fucking Rollins is in first place. Like this is, dude. That's our football guy, man. He can't win the basketball league.
He's loving it, dude.
Oh, he's loving it.
He's talking mad. He's talking.
Yeah, I bet he's loving it.
He's like, you guys go on the podcast. You guys talk like you guys know it, but you guys.
Oh man, we gotta get him on here, man. What a fucking fool.
No, but no, man. You know that's just March, man. Like you can literally,
madness.
Like I said, it is madness. That is why they call it March Madness. Is because of that. We have not had this many upsets ever.
No, it's been awesome
in the entire tournament, and that's what's
I'm sad that it's over because now we have to watch the freaking NBA, and then we're in the dead season, the summer. Sucks.
You don't watch baseball?
I do. Yeah, I'm a baseball coach, bro.
Oh well, I mean, I like college. I really get into college baseball more than I do professional.
Really? No, yeah. I like professional baseball way better than college. But WVU's gotten a lot better. Randy, what's his last name? Mazie, dude. That was a good hire for us, man. I like that. He's took our program a long ways. Like they didn't even used to charge to get in the gate. Are we charging yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we weren't even charging to get in the gate when we hired this guy. Like we didn't the only reason we had good players is because they can come and play football.
Yeah. Dude, the way that, man, I remember going to the regional game up in Morgantown back in 2019.
I remember that. Yeah. He was working with me and stuff then. I remember that.
Yeah, man. Me and my old Army buddy of mine, man, we went up there. And we have been following the program all the way from when Mazie got there, even a little bit before. And, man, just the strides that program has made with that coach and whatever, And I remember being at that game. It was a Friday night game. It was the first round. We played Fordham. And it literally sounded like a football game. You could go on YouTube and you could watch that game, man. You never thought you would see a West Virginia baseball game be that loud. And, you watch it on TV and it's different. But, man, when you're there, and it was nuts, man. Like, if only you could have been there to see it and hear it. It was just crazy, man. But that program is in the right direction. But with the Houston Baylor, man, I got Baylor moving on. I have it. Now, what do you feel with with Gonzaga and UCLA? Now, UCLA's been playing really hot. They played in the first.
They're so hot, and
from the first four all the way to now. So, what do you got?
I don't know that. I would like to know what Vegas thinks about UCLA because
You want to know what the spread is?
Yeah, I want to know what it is.
13.5.
What is what's the money line?
Oh, let's look it up. I know the spread is 13.5. Last time I checked.
That's not that much for Gonzaga, dude. Like normally they get like 20-point spreads. Like
I mean, for a regional final game, that's a lot.
I mean, it's a lot for a regional final game, but dude, any other 11 seed, Baylor or Gonzaga beats them by 25.
Let's see.
So it's I think that's a game you could make a ton of money on if they happen to snipe them. How crazy would it be if UCLA beat them?
If UCLA, right now, ESPN on ESPN's app, it has them at a 14. That's the spread. Now, money line, I don't know if it's going to show me the money line or not.
If it's over like minus like 400, that's insane. I
mean, let's be honest. In the tournament, no team has got within 15 points of Gonzaga. Yeah. Like I said, the only team that has played Gonzaga really good within single digits is West Virginia.
That's a fact.
That's it. That's a fact.
BYU gave them fits, but they still pulled away at the end. And probably they didn't look close.
No, they didn't. They didn't look close. Now UCLA, here's what I have on UCLA. I respect what UCLA is able to do.
I'll tell you what I like about you. You go ahead, though.
Well, I mean, it's one of those, man. First off, entering the Final Four undefeated, okay? You have since Indiana did it in 1975, 1976, okay? When they won the title, they won it all. There's only been 4 teams that have entered the Final Four undefeated, okay? You have the 1979 Indiana State. They lost in the national championship. 1991 UNLV lost in the national semifinal. 2015 Kentucky lost in semifinals, national semifinals. And you have the 2021 Gonzaga Bulldogs. So those are the only 4 teams since Indiana went undefeated in 1975, 1976.
That's so hard to do. And basketball's not like football. Obviously, by the look of this tournament, but it's so hard to not lose a basketball game throughout the year. Everybody has off nights. Everybody has shooting nights. You get some refs, call some early. You know what I mean? There's just so many circumstances in basketball that you don't get in other sports. But when it comes to UCLA, man, something that sticks out to me is they have 7 former top 100 ESPN recruits. So pretty much they have 7 4- and 5-star players on that team. Yeah. So this run is not all that surprising, if you ask me. No. They have some players that were either thought highly of, good players, whatever, whatever the case may be. They've had a lot of good recruiting. And it wasn't even Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin just got the job. Is this not his first? I'm pretty sure it's the first year on the job, right?
I could have to look that up to find out for sure.
I'm 99% sure this is his first year on the job. He didn't even recruit these guys. It's amazing. And another thing, six players average double figures all season. They're a very deep team. That's another thing I was big on. They're an offensive team. They score the ball well. So, their defensive rating's what bothers me with Gonzaga. They have a terrible defensive rating. I don't know if that defensive rating's been better in the tournament, but as far as the regular season, they were in the 200s, ranking 200 range, out of 300 and some, not very good when it comes to the defensive rating.
I mean, I think regardless from what UCLA is able to do, regardless, I think Gonzaga, I don't think they necessarily cover that 14-point spread. I think that would be, if I'm betting, and I'm really would consider taking that bet, and I'm probably going to before Saturday. If I've ever had a for sure bet, I would bet on UCLA covering that.
I would too, because then if they messed around and won, you did real good.
Yeah, you did really good. I'm not betting against Gonzaga to lose. I think Gonzaga wins, but I don't think they win by 13.5 or 14, whichever it is. I just don't see it. Now,
I don't either.
Yeah, in terms of double-digit seeds to reach the Final Four, you have had 6 total now. Okay, that includes UCLA that we have in today's tournament. You had 1986 LSU. They lost. You had now that was in 1986. You didn't have anything until 2006, until George Mason did it with the 11 seed.
That was awesome. I remember that. That was in our younger days, but that was I remember watching that on the big box TVs that we used to have. It was awesome, dude.
And then you had 11 seed VCU with Shaka Smart, which we're going to talk about Shaka Smart here in a little bit.
Man, love his heart. He walked before he's the only guy I know that can quit before he gets fired in college basketball. They normally fire your ass first.
No shit. But hey, and then 10 seed Syracuse did it in 2016. Loyola Chicago did it in 2018, and then UCLA did it this year. So there has been 6 teams to reach the Final Four as an 11 seed. No 11 seed has ever made it to the national championship game.
I don't think it starts this year either, man.
Well, if it's going to be any year,
it could be this year. Yeah.
It's going to be this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
We have literally sat here and we have predicted every single game. And if you would have followed my lead on it, your bracket would probably look like shit.
Yeah, dude. The only thing I had going for me, I picked Ohio. Who did they beat?
They beat
Virginia. Okay. Yeah. I had them beat Virginia, and that helped me a ton. Did they win a second game too?
No.
They didn't. No, they didn't. Okay. And there was another one that I picked. I had 2 upsets that really boosted me through, and I can't remember. That's really the only thing I have going for me. Outside of that, bracket's trash. Illinois absolutely screwed me.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of picks that I feel like I could have, with the Ohio State pick, the Illinois pick, Virginia.
Texas,
those three,
for Christ's sakes, man.
Texas, outside of those, man, I feel like I did pretty good, but there was just so much. Yeah, it's just those teams that we picked just did not go very far.
The Big Ten fucked us too, man. You're going to talk about best conference, best conference.
Pac-12. The Pac-12 fucked me.
Yeah, that too.
I think I'll be the first one to say it. Like,
I'm going to be higher on them next year. I'm going to have to be.
I'm not going to be higher on them. I'm not. I think that I don't think they're a better team. I just think they caught the right moment.
It's the style of basketball that they're playing, but that all these East Coast teams, they don't get to see it as much. You know what I mean? It's just a brand and a style of basketball. And you're right, caught the right opponent at the right time, but it's still, man, it's been interesting.
Yeah, that's the good thing about March. Now, also, too, I'm hoping once next season comes around, you're having, more non-conference games, be able to play some of these other schools. And
that's going to help a lot.
That will really help out a lot, too. I think next tournament, really with, practice times, everything, I think we'll be back to kind of normal. But this year, man, regardless of what happens, whether Gonzaga wins or Houston wins or whoever, it's going to be – it was a fun tournament. It really was.
And it was a mental game, too, this year, that being locked in the bubble. These teams are going on the third or fourth week there. So, it's been tough. COVID testing every single day. They get a little bit of practice time, then right to the rooms. All the meals are brought to the room. They're in the Final Four, so they can't bitch too much. But I bet it's been tough.
Oh, yeah, man. This is the whole season itself.
That, too, like Mick Cronin's dad. They've showed UCLA's coach, Mick Cronin. They've showed his dad in the stands the whole tournament, and they haven't touched. You know what I mean? Like, they can't – he's, like, talked up to him when the games have been over, but you can't have your family around or anything. It's, like, it would suck if you're in the Final Four and you can't have your family there and all that stuff. That would be terrible.
So you have Baylor Gonzaga in the championship?
Baylor Gonzaga here. I mean, if you want to make some money, like you said, man, you got start picking on that UCLA ticket, because it would not surprise me if they came out and punched those guys in the mouth. Because, dude, Johnny Juzang and Jamie Jaquez have played great basketball. Riley Smith has played good basketball, and it just kind of circles around the fact that they have 7 former 4- and 5-star recruits on the team. That's Kentucky and Kansas, and that's a lot. That's half the team. It's a 4- and 5-star. We don't even sniff those at West Virginia. They don't even give us a visit.
I mean, I might, like I said, that 14-point spread is a very appealing bet. I really would consider anyone that listens to this, I would bet, that UCLA on that. I really would. I would go with UCLA on that. Not to win the game, but to cover that. I think that's a sexy bet.
And I pay attention to it. If a lot of people, I don't know what people are thinking. I haven't researched it much, but if a lot of people start doing that, it'll start dropping. They'll put that puppy in single digits, and then that's when you hop on the Gonzaga train.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately Gonzaga wins, but man, what UCLA is able to do, it's at this point now where you cannot bet against them when it comes to getting blown out. If you would ask me 2 weeks ago, I'd probably say UCLA. I would laugh in your face if you would have come out of the first 4, and UCLA, if you would tell me, UCLA is making the Final Four.
1% of brackets had UCLA in the Final Four, and that 1%'s just their fans. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, ain't no one in their right mind would have picked them. No,
that's like putting WVU in the Final Four every other year, but this year, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean but man, congrats to real quick before, with all four of these teams, with UCLA, Houston, even Houston, I bagged on Houston, and I still have. UCLA, I bagged on their conference, this and that. But, hey, congrats. You guys did it. You made it, all the way to the Final Four, which does not happen.
No.
I mean, that's a feat within itself.
Absolutely.
That's an awesome
feat.
Congratulations
to all those teams. They did great.
Yeah, man. I have between Gonzaga and Baylor. I got Baylor. No, I have Baylor losing that game. I have Gonzaga winning it. I think it's a really good game, and I think it's the game that we deserve to watch. It's the game we should have had.
It's the game we should have had already. It's the game we deserve, and I think it'll be one of the most watched national championships in recent memory, just due to the fact of everything going on. Like, it doesn't matter what happens these days. It just seems like every event has just been record-breaking so far.
Oh, yeah. I know next week we're going to talk more about that, but, I really am excited, and I hope that these two teams do play each other. Because I want to see it. I really do. I really want to see that game, and I will definitely sit down and watch the entire thing. Like I've done with a lot of these games. But now, with other news with the college basketball world, we found out today, first off, that Roy Williams from UNC has retired today.
That shook me. That very surprised me. It just surprised me a lot because they've had 2 down years, but I mean it's been COVID plagued for most of it, but I mean, like you said earlier, I think he's 70. I mean, maybe he'd been there for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he of course he had that 14 and 19 season the year before, and then I think he went 18-11 this year. For UNC standards, the writing was on the wall, I think, almost. Not saying that they would have fired him or anything, but
one more bad year and there would have been a lot of mad donors and fans would have been mad, and better to go out with people loving you than people hating you.
Exactly. I mean,
because I'd be like Bob Huggins. I'd be like him, like leaving on bad. It's kind of similar situation. Like when he retires, I hope it's on good terms, and I hope it's not like we pushed him out the door, which I don't think we'd ever push Hugs out the door. But
you definitely don't want a Bobby Bowden situation.
No,
somebody
not at
kind
all.
of just pushing you out a little bit. You don't want any of that animosity a little bit. Yeah, you definitely don't want anything like that. No.
And the fact of the matter is, dude, he has an 800 win percentage. Like,
I mean, I think he's
ridiculous. He is a ball coach. 9 Final Fours, 3 national championships. Like, you're kidding.
77% win percentage. That is, with the amount of time that he has coached, that is nuts.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And also with him playing in the Big 12 and the ACC.
Insane, dude. It's not like he coached in the freaking MAC or something, dude. He's coached in 2 of college basketball's biggest conferences for 30 or 40 years. It's absolutely miraculous, dude. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, which I think he's already in the Hall of Fame, but it's Roy Williams was a ball coach, and that's really all you can say about him.
Yeah,
And he didn't have a bunch of one and dones. You know what I mean?
No,
he built
really
kids up. Not sure he had good players, good recruits, but they weren't one and done straight to the NBA type of players.
Well, so next, I just found this out before we started talking this evening, was Chris Beard leaves Texas Tech.
Man, it's been a long week on that.
So a couple of questions here. How do you think Texas fares? And how do you think how do you think Texas fares? And how do you think Texas Tech fares?
Texas needs to be patient with my boy Chris Beard. I like Chris Beard. I really do. He reminds me so much of Bob Huggins. Like, so much of Bob Huggins. I like him a lot. I think if the Texas fan base and all those so-called boosters that get to fire people left and right and cut people $20 million checks to go away, all these coaches, if they just give him time. Look what he's doing at Texas Tech. I think he has the best young core at Texas Tech right now. Like they've been getting 5 stars. Like he just signed a great class. He signed 2 great classes actually. Probably the best young core in the Big 12. Next year they would have been scary. And I think he can do good because I've been impressed with what he's been able to do with the stops that he has been at. But Texas is a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure with that job. There's just a lot of pressure with it all. But they got their guy that they wanted. They waited a week, got that buyout from $5 million to $4 million by waiting until today. That's not even an April Fool's joke either. Like he really had to wait till today.
I really thought it was an April Fool's joke when I watched it.
No, it's not an April Fool's joke at all. Like they would have did this a week ago, I feel like, because like I've been looking on Twitter everywhere. I've been seeing all these local businesses from Texas Tech saying Coach Beard will give you like free, like whatever their service was for life if you just stay. And he had never posted anything, came out and said I'm staying. I knew it was going to happen. It was a done deal. They just waited and saved $1 million. But in regards to Texas Tech, I'm worried for him. I am. I don't think they're going to get a home run higher.
No,
Who wants to go to Lubbock? Do you know where Lubbock's at? It's like West Texas.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like, not a cool place to be.
I mean, the thing is, man, Chris Beard at Texas Tech, he went 112 and 55.
That's pretty
at Texas Tech. That's not bad at Texas Tech. Of course, he was a runner-up, 2 years ago. Would have been 18, 19.
He's had great tournament success, and he has one of the best defensive coordinators, and we're talking about basketball. He has one of the best defensive coaches in the game. He has to pay like $2 million a year, and that's another thing that Chris Beard needed to make sure at Texas. Am I going to have the money to pay pay some of my defensive coaches? Because that's what he does. He's like Hugs, man. He presses, he plays defense. They get laid out on the floor. I like his style. I don't like Texas at all, though, which kind of sucks. But
yeah,
he's an alum.
It's a good fit. It's a good Texas fit. It really is.
Absolutely, he's gritty too, and I think, as bad as I hate to say it, I think he's going to put him back on the map. They got to give him patience. But back to Texas Tech, I don't think they're going to get a home run higher just due to their geographical location, basketball tradition. But thanks to Chris Beard, they got a brand new practice facility, brand new stadium renovations. He was almost the highest paid basketball coach in the conference. He was getting a lot of money out of Texas Tech. It's like, and not for him, for all these different things, athletic facilities, practice facilities, game facilities. Like they don't have to share. None of the Texas Tech men's team has to share with the women's or any of the other sports. There's a lot of appealing things at Texas Tech due to Chris Beard. So we'll see. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, man, I'm really, really, I'm very.
The only reason I say they don't. Sorry to interrupt you again.
No.
I don't like how they replaced Cliff Kingsbury. That hire didn't work out. So I don't see this basketball hire going any better.
No. Hitting a home run with Chris Beard. I've always considered Texas Tech kind of like, we shouldn't lose to Texas Tech. Now, Chris Beard being there really changed that.
Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, he got there in 16, 17, and previously before then we didn't lose really to Texas Tech. It just didn't happen. Chris Beard now. I think
it was like TCU with like Jamie Dixon and those guys. I mean, shit, that's
I think Texas Tech has. It depends on the coach that they get. If they get a decent coach that doesn't really recruit, you got maybe a year or two to do something with them because he's got decent players there. He's got decent players there.
He does have decent players. Transfer portal though, bro.
That's what's going to screw him.
That's going to screw him.
Yeah, that's we'll see when it comes to that. That's very intriguing. Him staying in the Big 12, going to Texas and leaving Lubbock and going to Austin. That's going to be really intriguing.
I'm anxious to see how long his contract and all that stuff is.
Yeah.
Just due to the fact, how much time are they going to give him? Does he got to be in the Big 12 championship again next year? Or are they going to give this guy 3 years to get things together? Because he's like I said, defensive coach, and he has different standards than some other
that's.
coaches. So.
I think they'll at least give him 3. I really do.
Half.
You have,
He's
you have,
young. He's
you have.
young too.
If Texas would just,
Settle down a little bit.
Settle down. Like, what are y'all like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just settle down.
Settle down. Like Chris Beard, give him 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? 3. I'd give him 4. I would give him a whole recruiting class. Find out what he's able to do. He's going to be able to get an extra notch of players at Texas than he was able to Texas Tech.
And he's at Texas, so you pretty much any recruit it can be scary.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. But before we do jump off here, you were talking about your little.
Oh yeah, man. West Virginia basketball sold these little cutouts for fans to set courtside when there was no fans in the stands, dude. So I sent in Aspen's first Mountaineer game. We were sitting courtside. She got a picture with the Mountaineer. She was not happy, as you can see.
Wow.
Bob Huggins autographed it. I got Hug signed it. It's a wall hanger. It's gonna go downstairs in my man cave bar area. It's gonna be awesome. I was really hype about it. There was a lot of people courtside too. I wish you would have got more TV time because everybody loved it. But hey, still signed by Hugs, and it's still pretty cool. 50th anniversary, COVID season, COVID memorabilia. Never gonna forget it. There it is.
Man, if that was me, and once I get older, I would totally put that in my room.
I'm never getting rid of this. No, ever. It's gonna be hanging on the wall forever because it's a gem. It really is. Yeah, because cutouts, they would have never sold these ever if it wasn't for COVID. You might as well just write COVID on it.
No, man. I don't know if you watched or not, but opening day today for baseball.
I did. It was pretty good. It was cool.
Dude, it was nice seeing fans back in the stadiums. It was very.
It was. Yeah, that was great. I loved it because baseball was already financially, it's been tough on them. And then this, I'm sure they were just stressed to the max, just trying to get fans in the stands. They had trouble keeping them in there anyways, and now they have this. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. It was, hearing fans, even though they're booing your team, it's like, man, hey, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm. you could it's well, I was in Florida last week, and it's not like West Virginia. You don't have to wear a mask. There's no restrictions on restaurants or bars. I was I felt weird. I was just I haven't seen this for 2 years. There's 300 people on the dance floor. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Man,
I was out of my element for a minute. Gotta get seasoned back up, I guess.
We'll get there one day soon, hopefully.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, man, we'll touch again next week.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Man, I'm hoping for a great weekend of games.
I am too. It's gonna be awesome.
We'll touch base. We'll go over the whole tournament next week, and then we'll go over next year and see what we got. Go over the projection rankings,
Absolutely, yeah. My guess Gonzaga opens as favorites, but bet money Duke, Kansas, and Kentucky is recruiting their ass off.
Oh, they'll be back.
They're coming. They're coming. And I love Duke, man. That's my team. That's my team. That's my squad. Coach K, man, I love him. Love Coach K.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll go over all that stuff, and I do want to thank you again for coming back for part 3.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, and
we'll
catch up with you later.
Yeah, man. We'll touch base again. Enjoy the games this weekend, guys. I'm telling you, bet that UCLA game. I'm telling you, bet it. I'm betting it this weekend. I've decided it. We're betting UCLA covers the spread. So
let's do it. I'm going to have to do it. I got to do it.
Anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for this brand new episode. And I want to also thank my good friend, Dylan Shafer, for coming back. So
thank you. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a good one.
You too, man.